Battlefield 4's large quantity of weapons, gadgets, and attachments have been both a gift and a curse to the game. I honestly think the game would have been a lot better off if it had less weapons at launch, so that DICE could take time to really balance them. The meta has shifted so many times in Battlefield 4, it's hard to count all of the mainstays of the game. But DICE, I don't think, just added all of those guns to say that they could have them. They must have known it'd be more work, and they would have to do more changes to keep up with all of these guns, trying to keep them all at least mostly viable. What it's done to the game is created a system that really encourages customization, creativity, and just imagination while you play. 4 years later, and I'm still coming up with interesting and new combinations, or my friends are and I'm using their classes. Something I did the other night was, me and my friends told each other what classes to use or loadouts to use, and then we had to go into the game with them, and it was very interesting.
Okay.
Heavy barrel. And an angled grip.
Okay.
You're going to be tap firing the fuck out of people.
Yeah, that's about what that's for. Okay, now my secondary.
You know what? Hold on. Change that to the Cobra. Change that to, not the Cobra, the Coyote sight.
Okay.
With all of the guns and things in the game, you forget that the underbarrel shotgun is actually pretty viable, or that the iron sights on the SV98 are actually quite usable. You forget that the first launcher you unlock is actually one of the best launchers for long-range tank sniping. Or you forget that the decoys in the game and that it's actually extremely useful to luring choppers into your AA mine or your friend's javelin and PLD combo. The game is brilliant in that respect because I honestly feel like there's endless opportunities. There's variants of most attachments, and there's so many things you can just mix and match with, and it's great. Having all of those different barrel attachments and the 4 different ammo types for the shotguns make it so that every time you use a shotgun it can be a hell of a lot different. Nothing increases the longevity of a first-person shooter like, well, solid gameplay and developer support is number 1, but number 2 is a wide variety of things to play around with. Honestly, Battlefield 4 feels like a sandbox more than a military simulator or pseudo-milsim. It almost feels like a sandbox shooter. The customization alone is what makes coming back to it so much fun. Anyone that defends Battlefield 1's lack of variety really just didn't understand why Battlefield 4 and Hardline and 3 had so much. It's not like Battlefield 4 put, we have 80 guns at launch on our box, or what was it, like 70, 60 guns at launch? They never put that on the box. But that sheer amount of variety is great, and sometimes yes, you can use attachments to make a gun perform worse, but at least that's maybe a new challenge for you to overcome, like take a gun you really like and then screw it up with the wrong barrel attachment and see how many kills you can get. Maybe it's putting a 3-time scope on your revolver and trying to snipe people. Whatever it may be, it's fun, and in video games, fun is worth doing. I think my biggest problem with Battlefield 1 was that I didn't have that sense of adventure and customization. I didn't have that path less traveled thing. I mean, hell, Battlefield couldn't even have like 5 different types of iron sights. Like, they didn't do anything that they could have done. They took some liberties in some places, and then in other times they were just like, nah, whatever. I mean, the fact that in Battlefield 1, a foregrip on a gun is literally a different gun. Like, it's a variant. Like, you have this semi-auto rifle, but here it is with a sight on it, or here it is with a foregrip. It's like, why is that a different gun? I would prefer no variants in Battlefield 1 and just give me a lot of little attachment options to choose. 2 different types of grips, multiple types of iron sights, multiple types of lens sights. And to me, it's just such a downgrade from Battlefield 4. I'm not saying everything in Battlefield 4 directly added to the game, but 4 years later, yeah, you know what? 4 years later, it is adding to the game. Because 4 years later, I have everything unlocked. I've done just about everything except for maybe 2 challenges that would unlock me a camo and a piece of equipment. But why do I still play? What is so fun about it? Honestly, it feels like a toy box. And if you're a more technically or analytically minded person that believes that the fun of Battlefield is to win and help your team, that's fine. That's how you have fun. I try to win and help my team while challenging myself and having fun, interesting loadouts. That's more interesting to me. So if it was intentional on DICE's part to really just pack a ton of guns into the game so that years later people would still have things to play for and play with, then honestly, hats off to them because it worked really well. it makes other games feel small, and a couple of my friends think that it's the baseline. Like, the level of customization and variety in Battlefield 4 is like the baseline. Anything less than it kind of feels lacking and small. That's why I really like that Call of Duty gave people the opportunity to put 6 attachments on their guns in Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare, because that opened up a lot of opportunities and weird things you can do to weapons. Changing your playstyle drastically around a loadout is fun, and I don't know, the people that don't realize that, I kind of feel bad for, because I'm enjoying the hell out of this game again, just playing around and trying to master certain guns that are really interesting. Some of them are just underrated in terms of how interesting they are to use. So thank you, DICE, thank you, Battlefield 4, and I'll see you when I see you guys. Goodbye. Oh, and I guess thank you guys for watching as well.